Welcome back to Hydrohaven, where we dive deep into sustainable growing practices that stand the test of time. Today I'm excited to share something special that changed my approach to soil management forever. During my visits to Amish communities in Pennsylvania and Ohio, I observed remarkable soil fertility in fields that have been continuously farmed for generations, without chemical inputs. The Amish have preserved traditional wisdom that modern agriculture has largely forgotten, using three powerful methods to revive and maintain healthy, productive soil. These techniques aren't just historical curiosities, they're practical approaches we can adapt to our own gardens, whether you're working with a small suburban plot or several acres. The first Amish method involves specially crafted biological amendments that inoculate soil with beneficial microorganisms. Amish farmers create their own fermented plant extracts using a mixture of forest soil, containing diverse fungi, fresh green plants, brown sugar, and non-chlorinated water. This mixture ferments for 14 to 21 days, creating a concentrated microbial inoculant that catalyzes decomposition and nutrient cycling when applied to fields. I've adapted this practice by creating my own indigenous microorganism solution. I collect a cup of soil from a healthy nearby forest, mix it with 2 cups of cooked rice, and place it in a wooden box buried in my garden for 7 to 10 days. The rice becomes colonized with local beneficial microbes, which I then cultivate further by mixing with brown sugar and water in a 1:1:10 ratio and fermenting for 2 additional weeks. Applied at a rate of 1 cup per gallon of water as a soil drench, this solution introduces beneficial organisms that help decompose organic matter and release nutrients to plants. The key insight from this Amish practice is the importance of locally adapted microorganisms rather than generic commercial products. Our soils respond best to beneficial organisms that have already adapted to our specific climate and conditions. By cultivating these local microbes and applying them strategically before planting and during high-stress periods, we can significantly accelerate soil regeneration. The second Amish soil revival method involves sophisticated cover crop combinations that work synergistically to address multiple soil issues simultaneously. Unlike the simple single-species cover crops many gardeners use, Amish farmers plant carefully designed cocktails of 8 to 12 different plants, each serving a specific function. A typical Amish cover crop mix includes deep-rooted daikon radish to break compaction, nitrogen-fixing legumes like hairy vetch and field peas, fibrous-rooted cereal rye for erosion control, and flowering species like buckwheat and phacelia to support pollinators and beneficial insects. What makes this approach distinctive is the timing and management. Amish farmers often interseed these diverse cover crops directly into standing cash crops about a month before harvest. This provides continuous living roots in the soil, which feed the microbial community without interruption. The decomposing roots create channels for water infiltration and air exchange, while different rooting depths access nutrients from various soil layers. When I implemented this approach in my own garden, replacing my single winter rye cover with a 7-species mix, I noticed significantly improved soil tilth the following spring, and at least a 30% reduction in watering needs during the subsequent growing season. To adapt this method to your garden, create your own cover crop cocktail using at least 1 species from each of these categories: a deep-rooted brassica like radish or turnip, a fibrous-rooted grass such as rye or oats, a nitrogen-fixing legume like clover or vetch, and a flowering species such as buckwheat or phacelia. Sow this mix about 4 to 6 weeks before your first expected frost, and allow it to winter kill or terminate it 2 weeks before spring planting by cutting at soil level rather than tilling. The third method leverages animal impact through carefully managed grazing. Amish farmers use carefully timed, high-intensity grazing periods followed by long recovery intervals to stimulate soil biology. Chickens follow behind cows or horses, breaking apart manure, consuming insect larvae, and distributing nutrients more evenly across the field. This multi-species approach mimics natural grassland ecosystems where large herds moved across landscapes, impacting areas intensely but briefly. Even without livestock, home gardeners can adapt this principle using chicken tractors, mobile enclosures that allow poultry to prepare garden beds before planting. I've used a small chicken tractor with just 4 hens to prepare my spring beds, moving it every 2 days across future planting areas. The chickens clear vegetation, contribute manure, and hunt for insect pests while aerating the top layer of soil with their scratching. Areas treated this way show noticeably higher earthworm populations and require minimal additional fertilization. If keeping chickens isn't feasible, you can still apply the principle by using intensive organic matter applications followed by rest periods. Apply a thick layer of diverse organic materials, leaves, straw, kitchen scraps, to garden beds in fall. Cover with a tarp for winter, then remove the covering several weeks before planting to allow the soil food web to stabilize. These three Amish methods, diverse cover crop cocktails, rotational animal impact, and biologically active amendments, work together as an integrated system to build soil carbon, improve structure, and enhance nutrient cycling. The beauty of these approaches lies in their simplicity and adaptability to various scales. I've seen remarkable results implementing these principles in my own garden, and I'm convinced they represent some of the most effective soil revival techniques available to us as ecological gardeners. If you found these Amish soil revival methods helpful, please support the Hydrohaven channel by subscribing and sharing this video with fellow gardeners. Drop a comment below about which method you're most excited to try in your garden this season. Until next time, happy growing.